Hello everyone, welcome back to the second live stream in literally a few hours. So as you can see behind me, we have a rocket, and we can confirm that the PEUFED, or for that acronym, is pointy end up, flamey end down. That is Everyday Astronaut's own little catchphrase, which is awesome. They even had a mission control shout out for it. So basically, Firefly, small satellite company, or small satellite launcher, should I say, they're going to go for the second attempt of their second rocket. So this is technically still their first orbitable flight, hopefully. They had a bit of a issue the other time, but we shall see. This is their proper first go. So yeah, we are T-minus 25 minutes, so we will put his audio on and we'll listen to him. He's answering questions about the actual rocket itself. I have no information about this one at all, so let's get his audio on.
That's been a persistent issue for us with his transport, but
there we go.
But yeah, we appreciate your patience and hanging out with us. We
so
think it's
that's
pretty
good.
Cool that we have all these camera options and that we get.
They
this
have tons
much
of cameras,
so
like tons.
Not bad for a first stream.
Engine, cam.
All right, so this is a good
trench
question again from Musical Wolves. Do the fairings have trackers, even though they aren't being recovered? Are fairings considered space debris? Well, don't forget, fairings normally deploy soon after stage separation of a rocket. So
still got the same
when the first
fly
stage and second stage separates, the first stage typically ends up splashing down.
Oh.
Down only 200, 300, 400, 500 kilometers downrange, depending on the trajectory and the mission. That's where the first stage splashes down. Now the fairing will remain attached to the upper stage, which will accelerate it a little bit more. But normally the fairings deploy soon after second stage engine ignition. So second stage will kind of run for a couple seconds, or 20, 30 seconds, and then they'll do stage fairing separation. So those fairings are not yet orbital. Those fairings are still suborbital at that point, because the vehicle, it takes another 6 minutes or so of acceleration to get a vehicle up to orbital velocity. So because they ditched their fairings before
the hell is that?
Oh, interesting. Apparently we're getting double face. Yes, it was. That was 100% my fault. We're seeing streams come up on my face. I am sorry. So anyway, so don't forget the vehicle doesn't actually get into orbit until much later on, several minutes later. So the fairings are still suborbital when they let go, which means they splash down 500, 600, 700 kilometers downrange. So they don't need to be tracked in space because they won't maintain orbit or anything. They will come back down 10 to 15 minutes after launch, and then become little boats for a little bit, and eventually be succumbed to the ocean, where they become a coral reef. So yeah. Let's try to get to a couple more questions.
I think we got a bit of a delay.
Yes, this is a good question here from Norbert Daniels. Again, if you guys are asking good questions, we'll try to pull them up on stream when we have time. Doesn't a retrograde orbit mean more delta V required? So doesn't it mean more energy to get into a retrograde orbit? And the answer is 100% yes. So normally, obviously, if you're launching prograde, if you're launching with the rotation of the Earth, you get that extra bit of spin. So the Earth is helping, quite literally flinging you and giving you almost, I believe it's almost 1,000 meters per second, almost a kilometer of delta V. Is that right? Can someone let me know? I don't remember. Or is it only like 400? I don't quite remember offhand. I'm sure Discord will know. But yeah,
to go in the right place.
So the cool thing there is that that the Earth normally helps you get into orbit.
Right.
Now when you're going into a polar orbit, you actually kind of have to negate the rotation of the Earth. And when you're going into a retrograde orbit, you have to go opposite of the rotation of the Earth. So it's actually really hard. But remember again, this rocket is capable. Remember again, this rocket is capable of taking almost a ton, a metric ton, to low Earth orbit. And Earth orbit, and in that case, launching only 98 kilograms is nothing. So, yeah. Yeah, let me see if I was right. 460 meters per second at the equator. Thank you, Green Cobalt and Discord. Yes, I was way off. It's not a full kilometer of delta. Yes, I was way off. It's not a full kilometer of delta V. It's more like 400 or 350 probably for the northern latitude. So, yeah.
Getting
so
quite a
thank you
bit
very
of
much
interference
for
in this one.
That. Yeah.
Just gonna
From
quickly
Hunter,
refresh this page.
To Gravity Coast to Allie for all the graphics that she's done. It's been a fun, and then Andrew also, our producer, making it into a cool interactive thing like this for you guys. So yeah, you guys
Nice, there we go.
have an awesome team. We'll put it that way. Let's see. This is a really good thing that I want to bring up from Orange Man. Good evening, Tim. Ryan and Mary Liz from Positive Perspective had a fantastic launch.
I don't know. I can't understand that.
Have I seen it? I had to stop what I was doing today, set aside the 30 minutes to watch the first episode of Road to Mars from Cosmic because it was incredible.
Yes,
those two work on something.
Literally
so
just
hard,
seen this.
put so much effort into their videos. It's just unheard of. Their way of storytelling is amazing. If you guys aren't familiar, obviously with Cosmic Perspective, they are who help us a lot.
Oh, we lost camera.
Obviously during Starship launches down in South Texas. But, you know, it's really fun to see how they do storytelling, how they share their images, and it's just been an awesome partnership. So I'm so proud of the work they do, and that made me teary-eyed. Now, give us a second here. I believe we may or may not be trying to refresh the camera feeds here, so hopefully we can try to eke out a little less lag here for you guys. But we will get them back in just a second while we continue to answer questions. So this is a great question from Razenbot. Many light launchers now, do you think they will all find a place on the launch market? That's actually kind of the ultimate question to me as an aerospace fan, is there are a lot. I mean, I did a video about small sat launchers that are kind of coming online right now, comparing some of the ones that are getting really, really close to
Oh, man.
flying. And Firefly obviously was in that. And I kind of said at the end of the video, get on the pad and get launching and attempting to launch this year. You're probably on track for, you know, survivability. But if your first rocket for small sat launch is 3, 5, 10 years away, you're probably going to be just too late. Unless you do something totally groundbreaking, something completely different. But I think right now there is still some room for a little bit more.
What's
a couple more in the
FAA indefinitely grounds?
And yeah, I think
Let me turn that off quick. So here it says, this is all, don't know if this is true or not. FAA indefinitely grounds Virgin Galactic due to Branson's red light warning. Virgin Galactic may not return Spaceship 2 vehicle to flight. The Federal Aviation found the flight ban will continue until completion of an ongoing investigation of the company's crew on July 11th. Virgin may not return until the FAA approves the final mishap. There was a mishap? So what happened? So it looks like... Oh, go for launch, that's good. Right, okay, that didn't look very good, so we're just gonna put that back on.
So yeah, that is super. I can't believe that. I'm sorry. I've been tracking this program for so long now that it's just hard to believe that they're actually going for it already at the beginning of the launch window on their first attempt. So let's see. Yeah, this is nuts. The enthusiasm on my
this
end,
is
guys,
nuts.
I'm sorry. I will probably move the mic as I'm on air. Believe it or not, I know
close.
it sounds impossible. But I get really, I've been working on this stuff, you know, and following for so long.
He gets very excited.
You know, you get really wrapped up in it. Just like sports fans, you guys know what that's like. I guess I am a ultimate spaceflight nerd, and I get really excited about this stuff.
He's not the only one.
Yeah, I'm not. I would never. Like I said, I actually try to tamp it down a little bit for you guys, but I'm starting to get chills just thinking that we're only 16, 17 minutes away from T0. This is crazy. So
This is mad.
yeah, we're gonna keep going. So actually, that made me think about, I've been following this company for a while, but the first video that I ever saw of them, they released about a year ago, I think, maybe a little beyond a year ago, and it was them reaching out to ask people if they wanted to have their payloads flown. So Andrew, if we have that video, I actually wanted to roll that, and also I wanted to roll. We also have some really cool footage from them from some of their testing campaigns. This company has really, really, really cool stuff. So
Nice.
we're gonna pull that up here for you guys in just a second. Like I said, this was the first video I saw.
Making space for everyone has been an essential part of Firefly's vision and dream since the day we began. We've been working tirelessly for the past few years to develop Alpha, a game-changing small satellite launch vehicle. And finally, our first launch is within sight. I'm proud to announce today that we're extending the capacity of our inaugural launch to you. That means we've reserved a spot on Alpha for you to send up whatever dream payload you can think of. We're calling the flight opportunity Dedicated Research and Education Accelerator Mission.
If I won the lottery, I'm just having a satellite up there with a bunch of GoPros on, wirelessly beaming them back down. I just want video of the Earth.
On the website, you'll find all the details and specifications you need. We look forward to hearing from you as Firefly marches toward first flight, perhaps with your dream payload aboard.
Oh, it's very, very glitchy and shaky.
So yeah, like I said, that happens to be the first video that I ever really caught of them, because they've actually been around for a while, but they had a restructure of their business. They used to be Firefly.
Well, I'm just going to get rid of some trash in my recycling bin, but I think it might open up on the main screen.
They basically started over only about 4 years ago and got out to the pad this quickly, which is extremely
Where is it?
impressive. Again, everything I'm
not
talking
open
about, by the way,
yet.
is like unscripted. It's just me
Oh, there it
talking
is.
to you guys about this stuff, which, again, thank you, Firefly, for even trusting me with any of this stuff. But yeah, so it's pretty impressive to me, again, as an outside perspective, to go from a clean slate design and a new company restructure to only 4 years later having a rocket pad. Honestly, super cool. Another base out of Austin, Texas, their headquarters. Oh, also good news is we can actually listen in. We're going to pull up mission control audio.
Ooh.
So if anything does come up over the comms, we will hear it live with you guys. So we'll all be informed together. Again, another transparency thing from Firefly. They're giving us a listen in to their mission control.
That's pretty cool.
There is actually a few more videos. So as Tom walked away there, you did see that there's.
RC, please contact the range and coordinate to begin recording RF tapes in T-minus 10 minutes.
That's good. Sweet. They're going for it.
That is mad.
Going for it. This is crazy. So, okay. There was a few more videos. Like I said, they have an awesome set of videos for their testing campaign. I actually wanted to run just a few of those testing videos for you guys.
Get over it.
Because it's really cool. So this thing you'll see is
Excuse me.
a startup
Get
of
over
two
here.
of their Reaper engines.
Oh, look at that. That's cool. Excuse me, will you get over here? Stop going on the main screen. Oh wow, look at the green flash. That's cool. That is very cool.
T-minus 13 and T-minus 10 for action. The event of an abort will perform the following steps. Program the fires from the engine to light the fire from the fires. Confirm paper belt. Belt closed.
Nice. Oh man, I am knackered. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sorry, I can hear you.
Power off stage 1, stage 2 FTS.
Oh wow.
I just wanted to kind of point out a few things here about these videos. So this is at their site, which is about 45 or an hour northwest of Austin, Texas, kind of in the middle of Texas. But this is one of my favorites because it is the all-up test of their first stage booster. That's the one that we see right here, right now. This is performed, I believe, last year. Now I wanted to notice the engine gimbaling there. I wanted to call out something interesting about the way that their engines steer. They're actually only single-axis gimbals, but because you have 4 engines, 2 of them can go on one axis and 2 of them can go on the other axis. So between the 4 engines, you actually have all 4 axes of control. Now this was also a little clip from one of their, this is a short duration static fire they had at Vandenberg Air Force Base on the pad just about 2 weeks ago, I believe. They did their, they did some static fire testing. I just thought this was really cool, slow motion video, you gotta love it. You will notice there's a bright green flash at the beginning of the burn, and that is using T-TEP. So they use the same igniter fuel that the Falcon 9 uses to light up its engine. That's triethyl aluminum, triethyl borine, which is a pyrophoric fluid. So as soon as that comes in contact with liquid oxygen, it begins to combust. So it's a nice, simple ignition fluid, super cool. So you actually could see that at the beginning of that attempt. So yeah, we're gonna keep listening in here to comms. We're hearing a little bit of chatter. It's fun to hear some of that stuff about, like, you know, what if this or that happens. They're going over all their procedures. But we are within T-minus 10 minutes. I kind of can't believe it. Yeah, this is pretty wild. But yeah, real quick again, back to the engine gimbal. So I want to be able to use my hands to talk, because that's how I talk. So basically you have a set of engines that can gimbal this way, a set of engines that can gimbal this way. And between them you can do roll by having them all kind of gimbal opposite each other, or even a pair just gimbal opposite of each other. You can go, you know, pitch or yaw just by using a set, and, you know, basically together to be able to do pitch or yaw with those 4 engines on just a single gimbal axis. That's pretty unique. But it's one of those kind of simple things, like why put 2-axis gimbals on every engine if you can get away with only using one? You know, the best part is no part. So, super cool. Man, yeah, again, sorry, I'm still just like, I'm trying to catch up to the idea.
Yeah, I'm in under 10 minutes, yay.
9 minutes and 40 seconds. All right, so, let's see. Yeah, so this was again from Musical Wolves asking about Trench Cam. Again, I hope that you guys saw our camera walkthrough. Andrew's kind of giving you guys a little taste of things, but we do have Trench Cam in this broadcast, which is unbelievable. Super, super, super cool. So we're really, really excited to be able to show that. Now that'll get obviously completely smoked out almost immediately.
Just countdown 1. Range confirms. Recorders are on.
Oh, nice.
So basically they're tracking assets, the cameras are on and recording, which is a good thing, because especially when the vehicle is fueled up at this point, it is awesome to be able to see it at that capacity. So, all right.
Oh.
So, this is a nice
We got a really shaky live stream
stream
today.
Hope it doesn't go sideways. Yeah, there's been some, you know, the most recent Astra launch was unbelievable.
That's it, the Astra
couldn't
launch.
believe
That's what I was thinking
the
of.
NSF crew doing that stream. The fact that the rocket made it off away from the pad, and
Yeah, the
began to
rocket
actually
went
ascend was
basically
really
lit
cool.
and
I
then
was
just went
cheering like crazy. I couldn't. I was holding, doing
and
the
then up like
disbelief
that.
sign, you know, like
It was mad.
as it was power setting off. It was an incredible amount of guidance and control for that rocket. But again, really excited that this rocket is ready to go. That Firefly is letting us stream their first attempt ever. Like that's
That's awesome.
Up on the left screen.
Good.
Copy.
Easy, go ahead and change that. Flight software takes care of it for one the last 30 seconds.
all right. Let's keep going here. So yeah, again, this is from Alexander asking, how does retrograde orbit affect payload capability? So it can be, I think it's about, so normally if you're going from like a normal prograde orbit to say a polar orbit, you lose about 30% of your performance. I'm actually not sure. I think you still lose only about 30, maybe a little more when you go retrograde. I think you would actually lose a little bit more. But you, like I said though, you do actually have to still negate your velocity, your rotational velocity when you go in polar anyway. But yeah. All right. This is from Kyle Jones. This indeed is their first orbital launch ever of their Alpha vehicle. Again, super impressive that they are streaming this entirely. I mean, I just feel like that's pretty transparent. I think as far as I remember, and I got corrected on this. The only other company that ever did that was SpaceX with their Falcon 1. Way back in the day. Way back in the day they did that. We had some people kind of asking about size and everything. I should kind of remind you guys of the size here. This thing is about 30 meters tall, so 95 feet tall. So it's a,
95
it's a pretty
feet.
good size small sat launcher.
That's
I
massive.
actually do have a
I mean,
chart pulled up here if we wanna
not for rockets,
give kind of
but you
people
know.
a size comparison compared to some other small lift launch vehicles. But yeah, it's basically 30 meters tall, 95 feet tall. So it is, yeah, it's a good sized rocket, and it is. Sorry. Then as far as width though too, it's 1.8 meters wide. So it's on par, it's almost the exact same width actually as Virgin Orbit.
Oh wow. Okay.
But yeah, if you compare it here to the Falcon 9,
Yeah, look at the size of the Falcon 9.
Class rocket is quite a bit larger than these vehicles, but Firefly's Alpha is actually a very big small lift launch vehicle. As far as small lift launch vehicles go, it is quite large. So yeah, again, if you guys have questions about how Firefly's aerospace, their Alpha rocket compares to other launch vehicles, we do have that up at our website too. We had a video comparing all of these rockets together that you see on screen right now.
Oh, we keep
here on
having
YouTube. So after this launch, if you have questions about how this vehicle compares to others, go ahead and check out that
I'm
video.
gonna just
Good rundown, the tap off cycle, a little bit stuff like that.
refresh.
But yeah, again, let's see here. So
D, please begin dispositioning of gate checks for T-minus 2 minute checks. Attention all, any
Strong back
no-go
retract.
at this time will be an automatic abort. Again, the T-minus 2 will follow any no-go.
Oh, that's cool.
In work.
Oh, that was loud.
that was in work. So
T-minus 5 minutes, the strong back is secured in its launch position.
wow. All right. So that is the strong back retract. Andrew, go ahead and check that off on the list. That is awesome. That's a good sign that things are moving forward on time.
That's cool.
Again, I can't believe this. It's running so smoothly for a first launch.
He's gonna say that and it's just gonna blow up on the pad.
I don't even. Yeah. I don't even know how they're doing this. So the next thing we're going to be seeing here, in just a couple minutes, we might see the call out for it actually any second here, will be that the flight termination system is armed. And actually, I think that.
Alright, 2 seconds. I'll be back.
Minutes. We should hear that on the net. And that's going to be the system that if the vehicle were to happen to have an anomaly and start to stray off course, they have the ability to terminate the rocket in flight, which is a good thing, you know, because they're obviously...
LC, this is CMCD1. We're about 1 minute to close on the LCCs for T-minus 2.
Copy. T-minus 4 minutes. FTS, please confirm FTRs are active and range is transmitting check channel 4.
FTS confirms that FTRs are active and range is transmitting check channel 4.
Note, the ARM Enable 2 command must be received by the ESAD within 30 seconds of receiving the ARM Enable 1 command. FTS, send ARM Enable 1 command to all ESADs.
ARM Enable 1 command being
Right,
sent.
I'm back.
2,
Just
1.
sorting out
Mark.
stuff.
FTS, send ARM Enable 2 command to all ESADs.
ARM Enable 2 command.
Do you know what I
being
need to
sent.
get
3,
sorted now?
2,
It's
1,
coming up to
mark.
Inspiration 4. I need to
FTS,
get that
confirm
live
all
stream
ESADs
ready.
are enabled.
All ESADs are armed.
Ooh.
FTS is armed. Alright, we can check that one off.
3 minutes.
God, I can't stop yawning. Come on. I can stay awake for this. Guys, you might have me on my own watching while I sleep.
Okay. So the next thing on our list, they will actually do an engine gimbal check. Here in about T-minus 2 minutes, if I remember right.
T-minus 2 minutes.
We won't be able to show you that, but we will hear confirmation, hopefully, over the net.
Nice.
That is indeed go. And they'll also do a go for launch here. They'll do the go for launch in T-minus 2 minutes. So we'll listen into that and hear, hopefully, from launch director Adam Oakes.
Oh.
That everything is still good.
This is
to
going to be
go.
quite
That's
sick.
kind of the final thing. Like, assuming it's all good to go from
I
here.
doubt they're going to show the
they're gonna light
path
the
of where
candle
it's going to
in
go.
2 minutes.
LCC,
Is,
MCD1. T-minus 2 minutes. Let's go.
Oh, hey, let's go.
I think that was go for launch
Close
already.
events.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'll see it come over here, but we'll have a look. Oh.
Final
Oh.
check against LCC 10. Final.
Why does it always do this?
Engineer.
Send it.
Launch direct.
Send it.
LTA. Thank you.
What is it like?
3.9 to 29.
Eventually, we're going to end up with like YOLO, just YOLO it.
Seconds.
Let's
Stop
go.
the count. Operators declare abort, abort, abort on CD1 and
Right, I need to go live. There you go. Alright, 1 minute 17. Look at that. That sounds cool. Oh man, this is going to be mental. Come on.
60
Come.
seconds.
Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. We're going for it. Oh, hello. Someone just joined. Thank you.
So they,
Come along the
begin
ride with
entry
this.
ignition at T-minus just about 2 seconds. So
Oh man, this is going to be
see the
mental.
green flash around then. Our clock might be a tiny bit off. We apologize for that if it is within a couple seconds, but it's good enough for now.
You can't get it always perfect, can you? Look at that
30
engine.
seconds.
Autonomous.
Oh,
RC, give the final 10-second countdown on the net.
all this glitching and
She's
lagging.
aborted.
Aborted.
They're going.
Confirm there are no fires on the video.
See no fires on the video?
GC close world purges.
Oh,
BC
I think I heard them say abort. I think it's been aborted.
Bridge closed.
Did
Revalves are closed.
confirm helium bubbles
Abort.
active.
And bubbles active.
Confirm S1 fuel tank is maintaining between
But they've still got time to do it, so
Vented.
GC confirm the following T-type tank is
they might just have to quickly recycle.
Vented.
confirm TBC tank is vented.
Venting.
Yeah, and Strongback's now been pushed back
Active.
to hold the rocket up.
BC verify the following. C-Rio is in the release safe state.
I think they've still got quite a bit of a window.
Spin system is
To
vented.
go.
Cavity purges are active.
Thank you.
So obviously this is their first ever launch.
60.
friendly reminder here that this vehicle, they do have a 4-hour launch window, so it's not over yet.
4-hour
They-
launch window.
When they did their static fire, they actually were able to
Stand by
use
for
static
more
fire to
details.
their window, so
Located disarm the power down the east
Oh
side.
man,
CRS
I thought we were about to go then.
pad area camera scan.
Yes, sir.
That was like within 11 seconds or so.
okay, so we're gonna let them work the issue here, and we will await to hear from them.
Oh, man.
If there's a chance to reset today, which there might be a chance to reset. Andrew,
4 hours.
When you get a second, go ahead and put abort on the.
So
plus
2,
sign.
3,
but,
4,
yeah, that's
5, 6.
obviously again
6
this is
o'clock.
completely, frankly expected on my end.
I can't
would
stay up till
assume
6 o'clock in the
that,
morning.
the very first launch, there's going to be a couple things that they need to just kind of tweak, and they want to be extra cautious again. You don't want to just send the vehicle. If
Well,
there's
he said
anything that
send it.
triggers any kind of abort.
He
Obviously,
did
once
say
we come to
send
that, we
it,
didn't
so
quite look right.
I say send it.
Going over all of their, go over everything and see if there is a chance to recycle today and go for a launch opportunity again.
Oh,
Again,
man.
remember, there is a 4-hour launch window today. But the fact that they got that far into the terminal
Ow.
count on their first time of their first
Oh, we
ever
got
full
close.
rocket, again, was way ahead of my expectations. I can't believe we're even launching on their first launch day opportunity. There is a backup tomorrow if there is something that if they actually need to defuel the rocket and go out and tweak on it. That will be likely a scrub
No.
day. But if the vehicle's fine and the systems are good, we'll give her a check out and we'll hopefully be able to repress and go for another
I can't stop yawning.
evening. So
2 o'clock in the morning.
fingers crossed, we'll wait to hear from them as soon as we can.
Yeah, I've got Twitter
But
up.
in the meantime, this is why it's fun to be able to have you guys to hang out with, because I am waiting just like you. So, yeah, so everyone just send a quick little, send some love off to Firefly and some patience virtues.
Right,
because
just
this is rocket
work
science.
open
So,
Twitter
this happens
on
even
this
to the
second
most,
screen.
the most flown rockets in existence will still have things happen So yeah, we'll just give them a little bit of patience, let them work the issue, of course, do their job, and hope that they can, you know, maybe reset for things. Not, we will be here tomorrow. So hang on. I'm just getting confirmation here. Okay, we just got official confirmation that they are recycling and going for another attempt. Now we'll update on the log here as soon as we know. Andrew, this is actually probably a good time if you want to pull up a video here. I'm going to take a little break, do some tweeting, updating people that are waiting a new T0 time. We'll get back in once we get, as soon as we can. I'll probably just take a quick little break. And then what I'll be able to do at that point too is hopefully get a little bit more information for you guys. And so we can update you guys, but then we'll answer a bunch of your questions. So you guys have been awesome. I like that you that again Firefly's trusting me to just answer questions on the fly. Super cool. But I love that they're just basically treating it as my stream, and they're just allowing us to see it. So again, thank you, Firefly. You guys are awesome. So that being said, I'm just gonna take a real quick little break while we wait to hear about the recycle and while we await a new T0 time. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere, I'm going to be right back.
We're looking for new
Oh, I can actually watch the thing now without being interrupted.
Going to space is probably about the hardest thing you can do. If you can achieve it, you've done what is seemingly impossible.
Hmm.
We're not just buying other people's stuff and putting it together. We have to
Oh,
educate all
hello.
the
Static
pieces,
fire
parts,
test for
put them into
Falcon
assemblies,
9.
and test them for the first
Complete
time. We
targeting
have to
later this month for the
solve
first
problems
West
that
Coast
none of us have solved
Starlink
before.
mission. Will be announced target
Firefly's
date
goal is
closer
to
to
build a
launch.
rocket that can get small satellites to space. The kind of people I'm looking for here at Firefly are people that have fire in their belly, that have a passion for space, but not just that, they're people that have distinguished themselves in their career in academics. They know their subject. They're serious people who like to get things done. I'm not really hung up on getting people that are experts in rockets right up from the outset. I want people that are very technically astute and have a passion for space and can learn the things they need to know to build rockets.
The challenges and problems make you dig deep and think like you've never thought before.
Made modifications for the question interface.
You get to imagine things and try and make them a reality.
This place is fast-paced.
Oh man, what I'm reading on Twitter with Elon and Scott Manley,
Opportunities to have a meaningful leadership
they look
role in
cool.
a company right from the outset that you wouldn't get at a larger company. Space has always been intriguing, but what's unique about this time now is that there's big business to be had in space. Its estimates are on the order of $3.2 trillion in revenue by 2045.
3.2 trillion.
Any other business.
I'm in the wrong business.
Everyone at Firefly partially owns the company. So if you come to Firefly, you'll get equity. If we become wildly successful, everybody's going to get carried along, and you're going to do very well financially.
We're all owners of the company, so we're very motivated to get to launch. Even those who aren't going to be very rich are going to be very comfortable.
Firefly is in a stronger position than it's ever been. We have an investor that's dedicated to pay the entire bill to get us to space. We do need some more people to help us get to the next level, but everything is in great shape right now at Firefly. People are the most important thing at Firefly. You know, I'm the CEO, but I'm out in the field working with the team on building the rocket engines. We're just a bunch of guys and gals trying to do something amazing. You won't find hierarchy here or a lot of roadblocks or bureaucracy.
The culture's very sort
Oh
of
wow,
family-like.
Elon saying basically the Arctic might have
Operator stand by manual report. Start camera recording. Start auto ticket to provide a countdown. Starting on the sequence. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I got really itchy head now.
Firefly because you really feel like that you're putting your personal touch on
Oh.
Just an amazing feeling.
We got a bit of buffer face there.
Working here, you get an opportunity to
Oh, my
work on
head.
something that's going to be very impactful.
Really bloody
literally
itchy.
extending humanity's reach into the universe. And that's something, in addition to being economically secure, you can look back in your old age and be proud of and talk to your grandkids about.
Okay, what am I doing?
Right, and welcome back. Unfortunately, we don't have any new updates for you guys for a new T0 time, but that's okay because we can use this time to answer some of your guys' questions. Again, I will try to do everything in my power to get to as many of these questions as possible, but with the amount of people watching right now, we probably won't be able to keep up with everything. We definitely can't keep up with everything, but if we have good questions, they don't have to be super chats, guys. We put up lots of just regular chats for you guys. If it's a good question, we'll try to get to it. But yeah, I really enjoy the fact that that we are able to just kind of hang out with you guys together. So it feels like we're all watching this together. So there was a chance for a little while. I was working on trying to do this in person. Unfortunately, I'm still recovering from COVID. I'm feeling 99% better, but energy swings are
update. Engineers are currently reviewing ground and vehicle data for the first attempt and
there are probably some people out there in California that
evaluating the possibility of a recycle operations. Nice.
So hopefully there's people that are there to watch it in person and watch this launch attempt today. So we're still hoping. Again, there is a 4-hour launch window here today. So there is a chance that this vehicle will recycle and they will be able to go for another
I really hope
attempt
not.
within that 4-hour period. So we are officially only 10 minutes into the launch window, so they have plenty of time left. So yeah, so just to confirm, I did see some people asking, yes, Firefly, the company, is in Texas and they do their testing.
Oh, what is going on?
Their headquarters is in Austin, but yeah, so
I don't know what's happening here.
let's see. This is a good
I'm
question
putting
from,
bloody 60 meg on
Are there
speed.
engineering camps you can see the rocket after T plus like 100 seconds? We actually
Look, I'm going to show you my internet.
have a onboard camera that we will be able to show once this vehicle leaves the pad. That is something we will be able to show for you guys. And the other fun thing
You
about
watch,
this
we're here
too
like
is, again,
10.
we have the awesome tracking camera
Oh.
assets from Vandenberg Space
There you go.
Space. So we will have some of the best telescopes
I don't know
in the
what's
world
going
pointing
on
at
with
this
this.
vehicle, and we are able to share those views with
We
you
should be
guys.
hitting 60 dead.
Yeah, so stand by. Again, hopefully if this thing does happen to go off today,
You see it creeps
we'll
up,
be able
58.
to show you all of the normal views, plus there of course
Oh,
with
they're
any
both
rocket
down at the
launch,
moment.
you have
Then we get about 18 on that. I don't know what's going on.
moments where you are not over top of a ground tracking station, so therefore there are moments where you don't have video link and data. So so during those periods, those are known loss of signal pockets, basically known blackout periods. So
I'll retweet
let
that.
you guys know about that if that is if that actually is a thing. This is from NASA Spaceflight. Our president NASA Spaceflight just wanted to pull this up, saying Buran was better than Shuttle because of energy. And I would agree with that. Energy was incredible. Again, we will be talking about that quite a bit in my video about the entire history of Soviet rocket engines. And yeah, it's Energy was just an incredible rocket. And yeah, stand by for that. Again, hopefully I'm getting pretty far into the dialogue cut of this massive video, and Patreon members and YouTube members will get be able to see a version of it where it's just me talking basically.
So I'm just going to show you guys
What
this.
I'm going to do because this video is
This
so,
is
overwhelmingly
launch
complicated,
control.
literally
This
like
is all
100
the
engines on this chart.
photos and like live videos they've got of the
So you won't be totally left in the cold.
rocket.
Otherwise, that would be a
So you
really
got
hard video
on the
to
two.
watch.
Oh, you can't see my mouse camera. Dang it.
Even,
Okay. Top. Two right ones are different vehicles or different views of the rocket. The next four are one full picture looking down from the rocket, and then the rest are small little ones like underneath basically. It's pretty cool. There you go.
standing
that's
by waiting to
engine,
watch Henry the
all that
astronaut
sort
fly
of
to
stuff.
space. That is so cool.
I think that's a
Jobs
thermal
responsible
camera
for
down on the
location
right hand
outreach.
side. I'm not sure.
CDC's mission microgravity. That is
That's
cool.
a.
Well, hello to
I'm
all
guessing
of
that's the
students
second
over there
stage
at
engine.
Beckman Middle School.
So that's
For
for
those of you
separation
tuning in,
and
that's very awesome.
second
We're
engine
excited to
start.
hopefully see your payload
That
launch to
looks
space today.
mad.
Again, this is rocket science, and there are delays. We have a new T0, my
Oh.
friends, and it's not too far off, actually. That's pretty impressive. Wow, okay. They are going for a new local T0 time of 6:59. Interesting that they didn't just go with 7, but 6:59. I'm going to go ahead and...
6:59.
Give me 1 second.
So we
What
got.
would that be? That'd be 1:59 UTC.
And British summertime, that'll be
59.
2:59.
That would be 1:59 UTC.
Yeah, and in the UK, as we're in summertime, it'll be 2.
Alright, so we've got the clock back to...
Oh, actually, when do we move the clocks back?
Counting. That's not bad. That's a pretty quick recycle. That's good for those of us that are spaceflight fans. Again, for those of you, if you've been around before, watched rockets launch, especially test flight vehicles and first
Yeah,
launches.
I love doing that. I love
I'm looking
shooting
at you,
stuff
Starship.
across.
You guys know what it's like sometimes when you're just waiting. Going, is this thing gonna launch today? And just that kind of those ups and downs. But you know that sweet and the what's the saying? The sweet and salty? No, the sweet and sour. There you go. You know, you have to experience the sour in order to enjoy the sweet. So sometimes having a vehicle scrub and kind of play with your emotions a little bit.
Where the hell's... I'm trying to
that's at
tag
least for me. I know
myself
that's good for me.
in
Like, I have
this.
been to, I think the one that was maybe the ultimate for me to see in person was EFT-1. It was the first time that that NASA's Orion capsule flew on top of a Delta IV Heavy rocket out of Kennedy Space Center. And I think it only actually scrubbed one day, but that reset, I mean, it was a 24-hour scrub. But, you know, there's like a 4-hour window, and we're sitting there going, is this thing gonna fly?
Yeah.
You know, it just, that whole thing. But by the time it took off the next day, I was like so excited to see it fly. I don't know, something about that. It's just a normal part of spaceflight. You guys, if you're new, you'll know. You might not be familiar with that, but those of you that know, you know what it's like. So, let's see. I'm not sure what all these mean.
I think my Facebook might have been deleted.
That's cool. Let's see. Okay, this is an interesting question from Tanner.
What the
just
hell
getting
is
here.
going on
I was
with
wondering why you think, or wondering what you think of replacing stage 0 with a magnetic levitation train angled up the side of a mountain to get some initial velocity. So we get asked questions like this quite a bit.
There we go,
Why
I'm
don't
back.
they launch from a mountaintop, or why don't or air
What's
launch
going on?
like Virgin Orbit does? The simple matter of fact is, you have to consider the cost of what it
I'm
takes
still...
to have. Well, first off, for a mountain, it's really considered a big no-no to fly a fully fueled rocket over
Don't touch me
population
there.
areas.
This
So you have to
is
find a
my
mountaintop
no-no
that
square.
is right next to the ocean. Any good-sized mountain likely isn't anywhere near the ocean, especially on an eastern seaboard, right? So if you want to say launch from
So it's not saying...
3 kilometers or something on top of a mountain, that's a pretty big mountain. That's still not very much vertical velocity either. You're still not, you're not getting any velocity. There's a lot of velocity involved in reaching orbit. You need to be going almost 28,000 kilamers an hour, 17,500 miles an hour
That's fast.
sideways in order to actually get in orbit. You got to think of it like a, if you launch if you threw a football, it's kind of going to go up an arc. But if you want to throw it further, you need to get a lot more velocity and it will arc. And then you just think about how the faster you're making something go, the further that arc gets. And eventually that arc
How
gets
do you
big
actually
enough
change
to
your
literally
name
just
and face?
go around the world. And assuming you're above the atmosphere, there's nothing to slow you back down, and you'll maintain that orbit for a long time. There is, of course, still, it's not like the atmosphere just turns off. There's still a trace amount of atmosphere in low Earth orbit, so eventually stuff there does deorbit, but that's besides the point. That's the general concept. But as far as things like levitation, like magnetic, trains, or having something throw a rocket, you just look at what would the cost of that system be? What is the danger of that system if something goes wrong? And one of the biggest things is it's really considered a good idea to turn your rocket on before you let it go, right? So if you're throwing your rocket off of a levitation train or
Is that
maglev
right?
train,
I
or some
think
kind
that's
of
right, password.
plane, even like what Virgin Orbit does, you have the risk.
Oh. The hell? I think someone pressed the wrong button. Let's hit that with a rip. Oh yeah, it doesn't let me comment and I think they've been having a few problems with their stream. There you go, I can put F in there. Right, so what we do for the moment, we'll go back onto it.
And you're not getting any extra velocity per se, but that's, yeah. So, looks like we may need to have you guys, yeah, you guys might need to refresh. Some of this could actually be on YouTube's end. We've had this happen before, where YouTube, the stream aggregator on YouTube actually kind of lets us down, and this could be one of those days. I was actually having problems with YouTube earlier, on my phone even, so who knows, refresh the stream here if you guys are having problems. It might be on YouTube's end. Alright, so let's keep going here with some of you guys' questions. This is,
I'm going to refresh again.
First off, thank you very much. What sort of payloads is Firefly expecting to fly in terms of weight and size, and how does this compare to other providers? So again, we did a video about this here recently.
Oh, look at that quality.
So Firefly can launch.
That is awful.
Synchronous orbit can launch 630 kilograms. Now, if they were to launch just a LEO, like a more of an equatorial orbit, they could actually reach. They could do a full ton to orbit. They could do, yeah, which is pretty impressive. But they are limited to 630 kilograms. But that's still a lot. That's bigger than everyone else that has flown to date so far in the small sat launch industry, or has even attempted to fly, including what Astra is currently flying, what Rocket Lab's currently capable of, and what Launcher 1 is currently capable of. So again, going to sun synchronous orbit, which is basically
I can do Facebook Live videos through OBS, I think.
300 Rocket Lab.
So I'm going to do, I'm going to just sign into my wife's account, because considering I'm blocked now for on both my accounts, and I don't know why.
They might be slightly, but I think it's about 50 kilograms. So it's actually a pretty good size. You can launch pretty decent size small, not just CubeSats, not just smaller 1U, 2U CubeSats and stuff like that, small sats. You can actually start getting into like the bigger size small sats, like which is really cool. So they are tapping into a slightly the kind of the upper end of the small sat launch industry, and they can also stack multiple satellites inside of their fairing and launch multiple small sats. So it's pretty cool that they have that capability.
Oh, what the hell's going on?
It is on the bigger end of the small sat industry, and I think a lot of these companies are trying to find that sweet spot here. They're trying to find what's the cost of this launch rocket,
stream
what's
key.
the cost to make it and fly it and do it again every time.
Okay, so I can do.
How do we make that profitable? And most importantly, where are the customers at? How many customers?
Cool, I can do it.
For our capability of rocket. It doesn't make
Facebook
any sense
Live
to
as well.
Rocket if there aren't those demands and payloads. At the end of the day, sometimes just the bottom dollar matters most for some people, as opposed to capability. If you're not fulfilling that capability, why build it bigger, right? So, so that's what all of these companies are kind of working on doing, is finding that sweet spot. Again, one of the things that I like about what Firefly did is the Reaver engine being relatively simple. It's simple and it's elegant and it's very few parts compared to a traditional gas generator.
One of my American friends is getting sick and tired of where they live.
Like I was talking about earlier, because it is tap off.
And
they had to make sure that
someone's put
handle the main combustion exhaust, which is they probably worked a little bit of magic.
We can swap if you want. You can come to the UK.
That's probably relatively easy.
That's kind of funny.
To work on and produce and go through the testing campaign. It's relatively small. It's extremely powerful.
Let's see where that person lives.
The ratio is probably pretty great. The specific impulse of them, the sea level one doesn't quite reach 300 seconds of specific impulse, but the Lightning gets, I think it's around 330. So again, you lose a little bit of efficiency when you actually do the tap-off cycle, but it's as far as being simple and easy to manufacture. Without having to worry about a pre-burner and all that stuff.
She's not going up north.
It should be a really good idea. So yeah, I'm excited about that. So 322 seconds. That is low in a vacuum. Thank you for reminding me. Let's see. Yes, sorry about there appears to be some sync issues with my audio and video. We'll see. We have kind of limited capacity at this point. There we go. We're seeing some big puffs of
there you go. That's good.
gaseous oxygen. That is probably good signs of, the recycle going forward. So, like we said, we actually do have confirmation that the T0 is still up to date. And again, they are targeting 6:59 Pacific time, which is 1:59 UTC. For this next launch opportunity. And another reminder, they do have a full 4-hour launch window. So as long as they don't run out of fuel, because every time you do retop off a rocket, you typically have to pressurize it and kind of continue to load it. So but they can sit there generally pretty happy, fully fueled, especially RP1, no big deal. Liquid oxygen, you might have limited, finite amounts of liquid oxygen available, as we are kind of hearing some of that. So, let's see, this is a good question here from Shikamu1 saying, could Alpha send things to the moon or Mars? Or will we need to wait for version beta to fly? Absolutely, a small sat launcher can send things to the moon, 100%. Can't send big things to the moon, but it can send stuff to the moon. Again, the Rocket Lab's Electron is actually already flying something to the moon. Supposedly really soon. I think that's supposed to be here either this year or soon next year. But that's a small rocket, and that can actually get something to the moon. Now again, of course, everything just matters on your delta V. That's kind of the range of your car, the range of your rocket. So if you need to go faster, which if you can go faster, it means you can get into a higher orbit. You're affected by how big your rocket is versus how far you're going and how heavy the payload is. So if you have a light payload, you can actually send it really far. Now heavier payload, obviously you have a lot more mass you're trying to push around. So that same rocket can't take that payload very far. So yeah, Firefly's Alpha can absolutely get something to the moon. I don't see any reason why they couldn't. It's not that much more delta V to go through the moon.
Well, I'm now going to watch the rest of it. I was watching a video on my phone earlier and I got interrupted by work. So I want to quickly just view this.
But yeah, I think that's super cool. So, all right. This is cool from Cody saying, my dad's batteries and a lot of other things are in that rocket. So proud. That is definitely something to be proud of, Cody.
Nice.
Cheers to your dad and all others who worked on this rocket or on any of the payloads.
That's cool.
That would be, I can't even imagine having your own hardware on a vehicle, and just be knowing that they all have to work together. There's like 1,000 things, there's a million things that can go wrong with the rocket, but they all have to go right on launch day in order to actually get into orbit. So pretty crazy. Yeah, so let's see, so this is from Ali Angel 500 saying, how did you protect Flamey End Cam? Well, we didn't actually. That is actually one of the assets provided by Firefly. So they have their own, they have to make housings and have all these protective lenses and everything. To have a camera anywhere near that close to the rocket, near the flamey end of a rocket, yeah, you better believe it's in a nice big protective housing. So that is something that is proprietary to them. So yeah, we're just able to tap into that, and we're really thankful, even if just for a brief second. So this is from James Mays saying, I'm asking if I'm thinking about releasing the Soviet rocket engine family on the documentary circuit of film festivals. I don't think so, because it's still very much, obviously I want everything that I do on YouTube is possible. I really take a lot of care in, how good this video is going to look, and especially the research that's been involved has been extremely thorough and making sure that it's done right. That being said, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it fit the bill for something like that. We're not doing. When you have normally like an hour-long documentary, if you took out all the little breaks and the little like music swells and the extra little going to this shot and then back to this shot, you probably half it. If you get down to just the brass tacks, like just the bare minimum of what's actually, the information being portrayed to you, and that's actually what this video is. It's just going to be an hour and a half plus of just basically a fire hose of information. If I were to try to make it into a dramatic, I thought about shooting it, and actually we talked about it on air a couple times about shooting it, in Russia, and trying to do a documentary style out of this video. This is not the right video to try to do that. I will hopefully still try to get to Russia someday. I really want to do like a more of a documentary style video that's shot in that way, about Buran and about saving Buran. So yeah, good. It looks like looks like if again, try refreshing your streams. Hopefully it's a little bit better. We're doing some stuff here, so sorry, just checking in with everyone here. So everything's looking good still. All right, this is I agree with this. Malawat.
Oh wow.
One of the most beautiful lights
Okay,
I've ever
the
seen.
quality
There's
is
so much.
not
Well,
big.
I'm back. Don't worry. I'm trying to just get into a healthier relationship with always streaming. There's a lot of awesome streamers out there. There's a lot of incredible YouTube channels that are covering streams really, really well today. You know, there's a lot of them. I want to only cover the ones that, you know, I don't want to be doing the 3 a.m. to watch a Starlink mission. No offense, Starlink and SpaceX, you guys are doing amazing things, of course, but I want to try to do ones that are new and exciting and just kind of pull at me, or I have some kind of relationship to, or that I can offer some kind of extra little bit of something, you know. Otherwise, it just sort of feels like why would I stream? I would rather be working on the Soviet rocket engine video.
Oh crap!
That I'm really excited about. Like every time you stream,
I was thinking,
there's actually a lot of work involved.
my thing works, and then I realised that I'm still logged into my Wi-Fi one.
There we go. This is a good question here from Artem. What does PEUFED mean? That is pointy end up, flamey end down. That was confirmed by Adam Oakes, the launch director, on comms at 6:02 p.m. So we literally heard from Mission Control them do a call out that the pointy end is up and the flamey end is down, which is just absolutely awesome. So again, huge shout out to Firefly for playing along with us with that.
It is.
Just crazy. So it's fun that we had NASA Spaceflight in the house. We also have my friend Marcus House as well. Again, lots of as I mentioned, there's just awesome. There's really, really good people out there working on a lot of facets of aerospace and aerospace communication, spaceflight communication. Again, I think all ships are rising with the tide. We're all learning together. We're all everyone kind of has their own angle and their own things that they do unique. So, big fan of Marcus House. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. Let's see here. So, this is from Musical Wolves. Good question here. Green starship flames are bad. Why is Firefly flames start as green? This is a fantastic question. So the green that you see in the startup of this and SpaceX's Falcon 9 is from that T-tab, and I believe it's actually the aluminum, or is I believe it's from the aluminum. Is that what burns green? Aluminum?
Ooh.
But if not, so yeah, I believe it is what burns green. So that's the green that you're seeing in that flash is from the T-tab, triethyl aluminum, triethyl boron. That is their starting fluid, basically. That's their ignition fluid, and that is a pyrophoric mixture. So when it comes in contact with oxygen, it spontaneously will combust the second it comes in contact with oxygen. So they inject that into the combustion chamber. They start flowing liquid oxygen in there, and you'll get stable combustion reliably and quickly. So that's what T-tab is, and yeah, so that's why it's green. Now, on the other hand, when Starship was running extremely lean, it started actually burning. You were seeing a very hot oxygen start to burn through metal components of the engine, and it was those same types of metal components that run that when they're being burnt turn green. So you're seeing for Starship when it was trying to land.
Wow.
SN8 was kind of the ultimate example where we saw a big green flame coming out of it at the bottom. That was not T-tab, that was not any kind of ignition fluid. That was the engine eating itself, and you were seeing the green flare of the engines. So, oh, the green is the boron. There we go. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, that's thank you. There we go. Boron apparently. And so yeah, copper for Starship would be what is typically green. And also you need to think about too, one of the fun things is on the Delta IV Heavy and the Delta IV, previously the Delta IV Medium, they use an ablative nozzle, which that actually burns bright orange, because when the carbon gets burned, it burns bright orange flame. So even though the flame on the Delta IV Heavy on the RS-68A engine, even though it's a hydrogen and a hydrolux powered engine, which typically would be a totally clear flame, because it's an ablative nozzle, it actually does burn some carbon as it ablates the nozzle off. So it's kind of fun that we can see the different colors and different flames mean different things in different rockets. Sorry, that was a long. This is security's the trap. This I will take this as a serious question. If Firefly is successful, do you think Bezos will file lawsuits against him as well? So the current round of legal debacle in spaceflight with specifically with Bezos and SpaceX are things that they're in direct competition for. The human landing systems contract, as well as there's also some FCC filings that they're trying to get up in a tough about Starlink, and of course that's because Amazon is working.
Which had what I think was an owl. That's mad.
Well, and I guess at this point, I'm not a big fan of all this litigation. Like, it's like, just build stuff and start flying, my friends. Firefly is out there hitting the pad already. This is impressive. In just 4 years, hitting the pad with an orbital rocket. Yeah, there would be nothing, you know. The lawsuits are at this point are becoming pretty silly, and I hope that at some point someone just says, no, let's start building stuff. And I think a lot of people at Blue Origin would also want that too. The engineers, the specialists that are out there trying to actually build rockets, I'm sure they're like, this money towards building rockets. So I don't think there's anything that could be a lawsuit on this vehicle because it's not in direct competition with anything. But yeah. All right. So with the geomagnetic storm affect it could actually, yeah, because I don't know for sure. Now, again, I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not a communication specialist. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff actually affects communications in spaceflight. You know, you have solar flares and big and radiation and a lot of things that can directly affect your communication. And I would imagine that
like
geomagnetic storm could directly affect it as well. And even like the northern lights can actually start playing around with stuff too. There's a lot of crazy things that are really, you know, big picture things. It's like, man, I didn't even realize that, you know, a solar flare was going to knock out communications on our rocket for X amount of time, or our payload. So yeah. Okay, again, thank you guys. I'm trying to get through as many of these questions as I can. I'm not going to get to everything because I'm already way behind. Oh, this is just a sweet love letter to a loved one going through our channel. Thank you for that. It's not to me. I had to read it a couple times, but there you go. From Multiverse Official to Nayang. That's very sweet. Oh, a little innocent love letter on air. I love that. All right, this is from. Let's see. This is from James Ramlett. It's like sports, but a fan of every team. Did we partner with NSF? Cosmic Perspective for.
Come on.
Ground cams, or is this all? So this is actually all pretty much Firefly. We're just tapping into their cameras. So we didn't actually end up putting up any cameras out at Vandenberg Space Force Base. At the behest of Andrew, who would have really liked to do that. I would have liked to do that too. And that was kind of an option on the table for us for a little bit, but I actually had to pull the plug on it just from utter lack of energy again at this point. So, yeah. Andrew Johnson, we're trying anytime the net comes up, I will be quiet. But we don't always have the net in our ear. So when it is on program and when we can hear it, I'll go silent as soon as I can. So, assuming it's something important, especially. So. You caught me there saying the best part is no part. I may or may not have stolen that from a certain individual. All right, that's that sign right there when we're seeing the venting again. That is normal. That's not like fire or anything. That is quite literally condensation. That's just a big old cloud of gaseous oxygen coming in contact with the water.
Man, I can feel myself drifting.
It's still really cold. You know, when gaseous oxygen have recently boiled off from a liquid. You know, it's normally minus 100 and 83 degrees Celsius is
something like that.
The melter, the liquefaction point of oxygen. As it warms up, it again expands about 1,000 times in volume. So you actually do have to vent it. Now, of course, if it was at minus 183 degrees Celsius and it just goes down to, you know, gets a little bit warmer to minus 170 degrees Celsius, that's still really cold. And so when it comes out and reaches the air, it actually just makes ice crystals. With water vapor in the air, and that's why you see those clouds of condensation. And then, of course, as those clouds trail off, they get warmer, and those ice crystals melt, and they just get back to normal water vapor. That's why you see all of this, what looks like smoke kind of coming off the rocket. That's just simply condensation. Let's see. This is Conan
Oh.
James Evans. Hey Tim, would you rather see a Mars landing or linear aerospike successful flight and landing? Man, that's a can't you can have both things. Those two things can exist in the same universe. So I'm gonna say absolutely both, because I feel like they absolutely could both exist. Now, of course, if you don't know why, I love aerospike shirts. I love aerospikes. That's why it's on my shirt. Yeah, the aerospike engine is just a really cool concept. As a matter of fact, Firefly was originally working on an aerospike. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm wearing this shirt today. When they were Firefly Space Systems, their Alpha rocket was going to be utilizing an aerospike engine. And that's actually how I heard about them first, was because of that attempt. Now, when they refigured and started with a clean slate on their new rocket engines, they went with the Reavers. Again, totally different engine type. Arguably, probably a good idea. I think you only want to pursue an aerospike engine if you are borderline
Right,
crazy.
I'm gonna grab some
or if you
cookies.
actually
I will
have
be
a
right
program,
back
a successful program running and you're profitable.
because I'm
and you
falling
see
asleep.
an actual reason to use an aerospike. There are some use cases still to utilize an aerospike potentially, but almost everyone that's ever worked on one just says at the end of the day, you get pretty much right back to where you would have been with a traditional Bell engine, but you now have 4 times more work and a finicky engine that has a lot more potential and a lot more parts that could potentially fail. So, yeah. All right, so yeah, that's the history of aerospikes. But I definitely want to see humans on Mars. Wait, it says another Mars landing, not humans on Mars. You didn't say humans on Mars. You said another Mars landing. I would at this point, if it's between just like another, say, Phoenix lander style or something with Insight, just a regular lander, not even a rover, I would rather see. All right, so it's amazing to see new companies growing out and making the space race a monumental thing to see. Imagine seeing this many companies in the 60s trying to reach the stars. That's absolutely right. That's what I'm so excited about too, is that we live in an era. Oh, we apparently are go for dual count. All right, we are back in it. They're still moving forward. We have official confirmation. Again, we'll be able to bring you guys the countdown net and the actual mission control audio is around. They'll probably release it to us around T-minus 15 minutes or so. But again, the next thing that we're waiting for is around T-minus 5.5 minutes or so. We should see the strong back that actually that's holding the rocket right now, keeps it safe, and then that will slightly recline back a little bit away from the rocket in about T-minus 5.5 minutes. That's what we're waiting for next. But they're moving forward again for another launch attempt. Again,
I have one thing better than
Pacific
cookies.
Standard Time or specific time PM.
Vanilla fudge.
Which is 1:59 just 17 and a half minutes.
What is it? Vanilla, caramel vanilla ice cream with little fudge pieces. It is so nice. So nice.
I didn't know we had that as an option.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think at some point we will be showing the static fire video again too when we get the comms audio going. That would be very cool. So again, do whatever you want, Andrew. We're
15.
There it is.
Oh yeah, we actually
This was the
static fire.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Oh wow.
Burn, baby, burn.
O2's 9%.
Look at how much it goes like.
12% O2.
It goes orange, green first, then goes yellow.
14.
Plus 15.
16% O2.
Made it all the way.
This shit is so nice.
I love that. I love that. I love the burn, baby, burn. So that was from their static fire, which was, what, 2 weeks ago or so? Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And that was from their successful full duration static fire. They successfully did a 15-second static fire as planned. The entire vehicle stacked. Super cool. Yeah, so again, they've gone through this whole operation now. So the next thing left in the scheme of like how do we launch a rocket for our very first time is once you light up the engines, just like they did, you let go of the rocket. There's actually 4 launch clamps that hold onto this rocket, and once there's good confirmation that all engines are running again, they start They get the engines running at about the ignition's about 2 minus 2 seconds or so. Once the engines are up to full operational temp, everything is looking good. The computers will basically all automatically be like, okay, go, 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 and then if everything is looking good, the launch clamp will just let go of the rocket. And then, of course, at that point, there's more thrust coming from the flaming end of the rocket than the rocket weighs, so the rocket will begin to ascend. And that's something that we're still hoping to see here today. And again, friendly reminder, this is their first launch ever, their first launch attempt ever. They're a brand new rocket that's never flown from a brand new rocket company that's never launched anything into orbit as a launch provider. So this is a big deal. This is, again, no rocket launch providers tried streaming their first attempts because typically, to be perfectly honest, they're typically pretty messy. A first rocket launch attempt tends to be pretty messy. But so we're going to be able to listen in here to the launch director, the launch director audio here in mission control. So again, I will kind of go quiet if I hear things on the net. But
T-minus
again,
15 minutes. The auto sequence is now synced with the countdown clock.
Nice.
That's awesome. So, okay, again, just a friendly reminder, though, is that if this does not go as planned, it's still a huge milestone.
14 and a half minutes. The engine chill has begun and Firex is configured.
Cool. They're progressing forward. So, so let's make sure we have a positive attitude as general observers of spaceflight. We get to still cheer for any progress in getting an orbital rocket to the launch pad for the first time. And even if it gets off the launch pad a little bit, that would be a milestone, right? That would be some
GC
data
for BC on ground.
That'd be, a step moving forward.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're obviously hoping they have big plans. They're aiming for orbit. They're literally just going for it right away.
T-minus 14 minutes. RC contact the range and coordinate to begin recording RF tapes at T-minus 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Okay. Some of the stuff will sound familiar. We had this, they're going through their checklist as they go down the sequence here. So we're going to be hearing a lot of call-outs about, recording, because it is valuable data to have video cameras pointed at, the rocket from all different angles if there is an anomaly. Some of those cameras are what helped SpaceX solve the Amos 6 issue that happened
5 years ago
yesterday, or was it 6 years ago? When was that?
6 years ago, I think.
September 1st, 2016, I believe. Or no, was it 2015?
2015.
I don't remember. But anyway, when that happened, they actually had to utilize a lot of ground tracking cameras to help solve what had actually happened as an anomaly. So that is a very valuable asset, the visual asset.
13 minutes. Ground side preparation, TBC, TTAB, and spin start verifications have complete.
Everything's still looking good. That's exactly what we want to hear. We want to see them continue to move through this process. Yeah, very cool. All right, and this is cool. We have James Pettit out there, literally hoping to see it from his backyard. That is cool.
That'd be sick.
The West Coast, living in California today, and actually, I'm not
Now
asking
review
for
actions
scrub.
on CD1. In the event of a blower, we will perform the following steps. We'll confirm there are no fires around the engine, utilizing Firex as called out by LD.
Nice.
If there are no fires, GC will turn off the world launch. We'll confirm vehicle health. The three valves are closed. Helium bubble is active. S1 fuel tank is maintaining between 30 and 36 psia as read on A1S CFT. We'll verify other diesel tanks are vented. We'll confirm ground side health. The TTAB tank is vented. TBC tank is vented. Spin system is vented. Cavity purges are active. We'll confirm with the range rotated disarm and power down the ESAS. We'll power off stage 1 and stage 2 FTS. We'll transition back to manual power. We'll re-engage the strongback via command changes on the hydraulic stage.
Wow.
Error code 016 is expected to report after 2 seconds. In the event of liftoff, operations team will move to the ground net and perform PRC and will be 14.8 and RC will perform 14.5 within operations. And then the hang glider will perform PRC and will
That's a pretty big checklist.
Okay, so what I was talking about earlier, for just a second is one good thing would be if they would have to scrub again later in the window today.
Oh, we have a viewer.
Twilight phenomenon.
Hello, thank you for being here.
7:30, and this is launching at 7. So if we were to launch around say 8 o'clock p.m., the rocket would be launching at nighttime on the ground. It'd be ground already, the sun would be down, it'd be dusk, and the rocket would be flying up, and it would actually get to the point where it's illuminated by the sun. And now because it'd be west coast, the sun would actually be back illuminating the exhaust fluid, which is gorgeous. If you haven't ever seen a rocket launch that is being backlit, illuminated, it creates this beautiful thing called the twilight. And it's just stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So if this would to get pushed back, we would at least have that bonus of the next opportunity in this window. Might be right during the twilight phenomenon. So I wouldn't complain if that was the case. Again, remember, this is their first attempt ever, so we need to offer up some grace. And again, thanks to Firefly for allowing us to stream this and for this level of transparency. Even the comms, I mean, we're hearing comms with Trench Cam. They did a pointing, end up landing on down check. Total win in my book. Like,
LCRC countdown 1. Recorders are on at TRS.
Copy
Just send it.
I love just seeing people just cheering on Firefly. That's it. You know, again, as a card-carrying member of Team Space, I'm just excited about anyone working on exploring the cosmos, and getting humans deeper into space, and getting more and more people excited about spaceflight. This is a fun company that works really hard and is doing some really unique things.
Nice.
But they have a great company culture. I got to visit them in January. Walking around was awesome. You can just tell when people enjoy what they're working on, and the teams that I interacted with and everyone that they were so excited about the things they're working on. And I mean, it is just awesome. It's unbelievable that you can have a field out in Austin where people are just building rockets.
That's very, very cool.
It's super cool. Really impressed though with how they've ramped up production already, and they're going for it. They're really just going for it. And then their headquarters in Austin is really cool. So. Yeah, I'm a big fan. This, like I said, this does mean a lot to me to be able to be the official stream provider for them. I don't know why they're trusting me to do this. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Tim. I don't work for Firefly, so the fact that they're trusting me to just talk about stuff, pretty nuts. Pretty cool on there.
But he is pretty amazing.
Great question here, asking from Oscar if I would make a video about tap-off the cycle rocket engine, because it isn't in the Raptor King of Rocket Engine video that I made, where we talk about engine cycles. That is an upcoming video where I will do a video only about engine cycle type, because there are other ones that we didn't.
So officially, I just had half.
And I think I'm going to do a lot of sense. Just make a dedicated video.
Oh, I just had half of that, because I had half the other day.
We talked about lead expander cycle and expander cycle. There's a lot of different tricks up sleeves that we didn't even begin to touch on.
Per 100 grams.
So it'd be really fun to do a comprehensive video for you guys, because the tap-off cycle they're using here is really unique. And like I said, no rocket company, no rocket that utilizes the tap-off cycle has ever made its orbit. I don't even think there's been a rocket that's attempted to go to orbit with a tap-off cycle. It is a very unique solution, and it's so
Take a
cool.
photo. I want to see if my boss will tell me how many calories is in this.
Bi-propellant engines. It is a really surprisingly simple solution. It's almost as simple like the electric pump bed.
Oh, 6 minutes. This should be interesting now.
They're double checking that the engine up there in stage 2 inside the interstage is wiggling. They kind of wiggle it. You can't see that visually.
Wiggle it.
So that is a sensor thing. They might have a camera up in the interstage to show them.
They have got a camera. We should be going soon.
But I'd say tap off as far as the amount of moving parts and everything is about as simple as it gets for bi-propellant.
Right, I've had my bit of ice cream to keep me going. Come on, let's get this
Like I said,
going.
it's not the most efficient thing in the world, but that efficiency doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? You're really worried
Oh
about
man, I'm
how
cold
much
now.
does it cost me to make an engine?
Might have to put my heating on.
How much does it cost me to produce this engine and to research and development of this engine? kind of that dollar per kilogram thrust concept almost. And if you're producing an engine really cheap
LCC on CD1.
Ooh.
Over LCN.
We are looking good for clearing the LCC gate in -3 minutes.
Copy that.
Really?
Alpha booster internal power. Strong back retract operations prematurely.
Oh, Stromback, they're retracting the Stromback.
Spicy debate there of shuttle versus Baran.
Strong back retract.
So you can see now.
Look at that, moving back. That's cool.
2-minute checks. Any no-go at this time will be an automatic approval.
Oh god, I can't stop yawning.
See there the strong back retracting.
It's almost 3 a.m.
Sign.
I'm determined to stay up and watch it for
Next
this.
thing we'll hear is they'll talk about the flight termination system being
5
armed.
minutes. Strong back position.
If it aborts this time, I'm going to end the stream and go to bed because, you know, I've got work.
Again, I gotta say, for their first launch attempt, it just sounds like everything's, you know, they have such a nice order to things, and things are.
They do have a nice order to things, yeah.
It's really impressive to see this for our first time launch ever. Did see a really good question right now from Grant. I'm just gonna pull this up here real quick. We'll try to get back to some of the other ones.
What has the
What
exhaust?
is it exhausting off the rocket? So again, it's literally what you're seeing coming off is literally just boil off of liquid oxygen. So there's a lot of liquid oxygen on this vehicle, and when it warms up, it expands, it heats up, and it'll shoot out the side of the rocket. They vent it because
Oh,
take a liquid
God, I'm
oxygen,
still
expand it
yawning.
into
I
gas,
can't stop
heats up,
yawning. I
the
don't
gas
know
expands
why.
1,000 times.
Well,
So
I know why. It's
you
almost
can't
3
have
a.m.
the vehicle anymore, so you vent it out, and that's what you're seeing. That's totally normal.
Right.
Again, think of like opening a freezer on a hot day or something.
Oh.
FTOs are active and range is transmitting check channel 4.
Note the arm enabled 2 command must be received by the E-side within 30 seconds of receiving the arm enabled 1. FTS, send arm enabled 1 command.
Arm enable 1 command being sent in 3, 2, 1, mark.
Oh, God.
Arm enabled 2 command to all E-side.
I'm sorry if this launches because
Speed sent to all
if it scrubs, I'm going to be so mad.
FTS, confirm all E-sides are enabled.
All E-sides are enabled and armed.
Come on. Just light the candle and let it go.
It means the flight termination system is officially active on the rocket. And again, if there were to be an anomaly in this vehicle,
T-2 gate complete.
Copy. T-minus 3 minutes. Fuel bleed is starting.
No, bit of a laugh going on there. Sounds like a sprinkler. Like the old American ones that hit like the piece of metal and it just flaps it about like that.
yeah. So again,
Really
flight
annoying.
termination arm, if this thing gets off the pad and starts to ascend, if there is an anomaly where guidance doesn't work correctly or something, they have the option of aborting the rocket, which will terminate the rocket and make sure it doesn't fly towards Los Angeles or nearby Lompoc or Santa Barbara or something like that. That is
Santa Barbara.
requirement for orbital launch vehicles, especially when you have this much payload and this much fuel.
No, I think they're doing pretty well.
The public is safe. That is what the flight termination system is for. But yeah, they're going for it though. Again, guys, remember this is their first ever launch attempt, so we'll be listening in here during these last 2 minutes for any kind of call out.
T-minus 2 minutes. CE has completed their final LCC checks for launch. This is the final commit for launch. CE.
Oh, final commit for launch.
Launch director.
So that means they're
LDA. Copy LDA. BC, please verify alpha transitions to autonomous mode in T-minus 30.
Look up.
So that means if it doesn't go, they're scrubbed for the night.
That was referring to the rocket. He's saying send it.
Yeah.
He had already said that on the net
Orbital
earlier,
arm.
so he's saying send it again. They're ready. They are ready to launch this thing. I love that.
Nice. Ooh. That was loud.
That scared me.
You guys didn't have it. Oh my god, there it is again. Don't do it again.
There we go. Coming up on T-minus 1 minute.
There we
60
go.
seconds.
Oh, I got a cold shiver.
Trench cams looking awfully condensed there.
This is condensed milk. Right, here we go.
Operators, please declare abort.
Oh.
DC will abort the Odyssey. DC at T-minus 30 seconds. Verify alpha transmissions to
30 seconds. 20.
Oh, right, we're going.
15.
Here we go. Come on.
10. 9.
Good luck, guys.
7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
It's going. It's going.
0, 0, Zulu.
RC transition operation procedures to PRC LP 1435, IP split to PRC LP 147.
It's going.
7 reported anomaly. Please confirm I have no fires on the pad. I have no visual. Please confirm no fires on the pad. Moving ground.
I'm looking. I'm about to send them all the pad sweep. Cameras are sweeping the pad.
Plus 32 seconds.
Stage 2 pressure's up.
Drop call.
Come on, guys, you can do it.
Prop is nominal.
Nice. Look at that view.
Oh my god, they're doing it.
GNC.
Sing a dip in EMAG.
There's no
Again,
there's no fires on the pad.
Avionics.
Responding AVI.
Oh, look at that. That right-hand picture just above me. That is nice.
This one pressure profile nominal. Avionics power nominal.
Is that the satellite?
Telemetry
First
is
ever
nominal.
attempt. This is their first ever attempt at going to space and going into orbit ever. And they're coming up right now on maximum aerodynamic pressure. That is the moment where the vehicle will experience
Plus 130.
the most amount of aerodynamic pressure. So this is when you're really testing your fuselage. Is it going to hold up? We are going through that right now. So the vehicle is clearly holding up. That is a great milestone. We might even hear max speed
Wow.
call out on the
Not yet
comms net.
supersonic.
Not yet supersonic. That's maybe not great. The vehicle, there's a chance it could be slightly underperforming, but again, we'll wait to hear official call-outs here. But this, again, first launch attempt ever.
Yeah, they're doing damn well.
Unbelievable. They got up on their first try, on their first day of their first attempt ever. This is unbelievable.
I bet they're happy that they...
Again, if they get to stage separation, that's going to be a huge milestone.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Yes, that's what we like to hear.
Supersonic.
Oh! Exploded! It's gone!
There has been an anomaly.
Move the anomaly team to procedure MLP.
Shoot. Oh, man. Shoot.
They did so well.
Oh, that was impressive, though.
That was very impressive.
That was impressive. I was actually speechless. I just really didn't think they would go for it on their first launch window opportunity.
Well done.
Ever.
Well done.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn Tim's
Just send
audio
Firefly
off.
your love and say thank you,
So, guys, that was the rocket. Let's just get Twitter and so we're gonna show right screen. Here we are on my Twitter. And we're going to put well done for what an amazing lift off. There you go. So although they didn't make it to even stage separation, they're getting all the data in the world from it, so obviously something was slightly wrong. So, but that's it for me. I am now gonna go to bed because it's 4 minutes past 3 in the morning. Thank you oh, they've just tweeted Alpha experience anomaly during the first stage ascent that resulted in the loss of the vehicle. As we gather more information, additional details will be provided. Nice. So yeah, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Well, we got to see a boom, so that's, you know, that's good. I mean, what, we've been going for an hour and a half, but you know, that was good. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm Lee. Fly safe, land safer. Good night.